James Comey became the seventh FBI director appointed by President Barack Obama in 2013. He had a great responsibility in overseeing the investigation of both presidential nominees, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Starting with the first actor, Clinton's handling of the terrorist attacks on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, led to the discovery of Clinton's private email server, a possible violation of the Hatch Act.
I see evidence of great carelessness, but I do not see evidence that is sufficient to establish that Secretary Clinton or those with whom she was corresponding both talked about classified information on email and knew when they did it, they were doing something that was against the law.
Meanwhile, the FBI also became suspicious of the Russian efforts that may have influenced the election by noticing some potential ties between Trump's campaign officials and Russian intelligence. A year after Clinton's criminal investigation, some reports were released, and on June 29, 2016, the Attorney General Loretta Lynch, who makes decisions for prosecution, met with Bill Clinton on her plane in an airport in Arizona. The media made her appear that she was somehow involved, which led to her recusal from the Hillary Clinton investigation. Lynch announced that she would fully accept the recommendation of the FBI regarding the probe, and on July 2nd, agents completed their investigation by interviewing Hillary Clinton at their headquarters. After this, Comey and his associates decided there was no basis for criminal indictments in the case. And a few days later, it was announced that the U.S. Department of Justice would file no criminal charges. During a 15-minute press conference in the J. Edgar Hoover building, Comey called Secretary Clinton's and her top aides' behavior extremely careless, but concluded that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. It was believed to be the first time that the FBI publicly disclosed its prosecutorial recommendation to the Department of Justice. And another few days later, on July 7th, 2016, Comey was questioned by a Republican-led House committee during a hearing regarding the FBI's request. So heading closer to the election that year, just when everyone thought that the investigation was over, an unrelated case 2 weeks before the presidential election emerged on the former Congressman Anthony Weiner. And that led to a discovery of emails on his laptop between him and his wife, as well as Hillary Clinton. And those emails would have taken months to read. So Comey had decided that he would inform Congress that the Hillary investigation would be reopened due to this new information. And Justice Department's lawyers warned Comey about giving a public statement because it was inconsistent with the department's policy. Still, Comey just considered the procedure guidance rather than ironclad rule. He decides not to reveal any new information that would be misleading to Congress and the public, and so on October 28th, Comey sent a letter to Congress members advising them that the FBI reviewed more emails. Members of Congress revealed the information to the public within minutes, and Republican and Democratic lawmakers, Clinton and the Trump campaigns, all called Comey to provide additional details about what was going on. Comey was criticized by the Clinton campaign, former officials, both the right and the left from all over the U.S. And according to the Clinton campaign, the letters effectively stopped the campaign's momentum, hurting Clinton's chances with the voters who were receptive to Trump's claims of a rigged system. Polling authority Nate Silver commented on Twitter that Comey had a large, measurable impact on the race. Other analysts, such as Democratic strategist David Axelrod, said that Comey's public actions were just one of several cumulative factors that cost Clinton the election. On May 2nd, 2017, Hillary Clinton told CNN's Christine Amanpour that she was on the way to winning, until a combination of Jim Comey's letters on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for her and got scared off. On May 3rd, 2017, Comey testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that it makes him mildly nauseous to think that the FBI might have had some impact on the election, and that he honestly wouldn't change the decision to release the information. So this part is on the Russian election interference investigation. On March 16, 2016, WikiLeaks launched a searchable archive for over 30,000 emails and email attachments sent to and from Hillary Clinton's private email server while she was Secretary of State.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
On July 5th, 2016, the day of Comey's press conference on the declination decision of Hillary Clinton, the FBI acquired the Donald Trump Russia dossier, written by Christopher Steele, a former British intelligence officer for MI6. So, the document detailed possible ties between Moscow and Republican presidential nominee and former steak salesman Donald J. Trump. Nearly 1 month later, the FBI opened an investigation into the Trump campaign's links to the Russian government. After that, CIA Director John Brennan gave an unusual private briefing on the Russians to Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid, and Reid then publicly referred to the briefing. Comey refused to confirm anything, even in classified congressional briefings, that Trump campaign was under investigation. Early in October, meetings were held in the White House Situation Room, and National Security Advisor Susan Rice argued that the FBI should disclose a potential compromise alleged in the Steele dossier. Comey argued against the disclosure, claiming that it was no longer necessary. So, when Comey first met Trump in January 2017 at an intelligence briefing at the Trump Tower, which the briefing's purpose was to notify the Steele dossier to the president-elect and its potential threat that the information posed to national security. A month later, Trump and Comey had an unusual private dinner together, and according to Trump, Comey had requested the dinner to ask to keep his job, and Trump had asked him if he were under investigation, and Comey said that he was not. According to Comey's associates, Trump actually was the one who requested the dinner.
At the beginning of the dinner, he said, "So what do you want to do?" And then we had a conversation about whether I intended to stay as FBI director, which was so strange because he had by that point, I think 3 times, said that he hoped I was going to stay. There, he just looked at me and said he needed loyalty. He expects loyalty. And I was stunned by that. And so I just stared at him. And it seemed like an eternity. It was probably a couple of seconds. And then he dropped his eyes and continued eating, and I continued eating, and then he started talking more.
On February 14th, the day after President Trump fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, Comey met with the president during a terrorism threat briefing in the Oval Office. And at the end of the meeting, Trump asked the other security chiefs to leave to tell Comey to consider imprisoning reporters over leaks. In private, President Trump told Comey that he had hoped he could see his way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. At this point, Comey had already been keeping personal memos on the meetings with the president, and after this conversation, he shared it with FBI officials. During his congressional testimony, Comey had clarified that he took President Trump's comments to be an order to drop the Flynn investigation, but that he did not consider this an order to drop the Russia investigation as a whole. On March 4th, Comey asked the Justice Department for permission to publicly refute Trump's claims that his phones had been wiretapped. By then, President Obama denied Comey's request. And on March 20th, in his testimony before the White House Intelligence Committee, Comey confirmed that the FBI has been investigating possible coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia and whether any crimes were committed. During the hearing, Congressman Jim Himes read a tweet posted from the White House Twitter account that claimed the NSA and FBI told Congress that Russia did not influence the electoral process. When asked about the accuracy of the tweet, Comey directly refuted the claim. Comey refuted President Trump's accusations that former President Obama ordered Trump Tower to be wiretapped, testifying that he had no information that supported that claim. On May 3rd, in testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Comey said that Russia is the greatest threat of any nation on earth. One of the biggest lessons learned is that Russia will do this again. Because of the 2016 election, they know it worked. He also said that Russia should pay the price for interfering. Former US FBI Director